Recent weeks have seen the Nigerian police in the spotlight of an unrelenting fight against criminal elements across the country. Now, these and many other issues are on our radar this week, but that will be after the crime news. Hello and welcome to Crime Watch. I'm Ivy Kano.
At least 3 traffic robbery suspects have been arrested by the police during separate operations in Okokomaiko and Ojo areas of Lagos State. Police Public Relations Officer, Lagos Command, Bala Elkanah says the hoodlums had engaged the police in a gun battle. He reveals one of the hoodlums was fatally injured, 2 were arrested while other gang members escaped. Guns, live cartridges and motorcycles used for the operations were recovered by the police. President Muhammadu Buhari has charged security chiefs to coordinate security plans and activities to enable security agents contain and prevent crimes within the West Africa sub-region. He made this call in his message at the end of the 3-day meeting of West African Police and Security Chiefs Committee in Abuja. Terrorist attacks, piracy, kidnappings, trafficking in drugs and humans across the West African region have undermined development efforts and especially the fulfillment of the ECOWAS protocols for free movement of persons. Police authorities in Oyo State say they have arrested a suspected supplier of ammunition in the Saki area of the state. The suspect, whose name was given as Sunday Ajiboye, was said to be found in possession of 2,750 live cartridges. In another major breakthrough, security agents say they have also nabbed one Salami Gafaru, who was caught with 750 live cartridges. Police Commissioner Shino Olukulu spoke about the arrest.
The SARS and POF ADA team laid ambush, but eventually we had to move to the vehicle and search. In the course of conducting search, this was what we found in them. 2,750 live cartridges. Investigation is on, and we don't want to jeopardize that investigation.
Up-and-coming musician Aziz Fashola, also known as Naira Marley, has now been ordered to Ikoyi prison in Lagos after spending about 10 days in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. He will appear again at the Federal High Court, Ikoyi, on the 30th of May to argue his bail application. In Taraba State, more than 300 alleged criminals, including kidnappers, have been paraded before newsmen. The Commissioner of Police, Al-Kazim Sanusi, says 9 of the suspects were arrested in their forest hideout, while others were arrested at different locations in the state. The police say they will soon be arraigned in court.
So far, we have arrested 49 suspects. And there are those suspected kidnappers that escaped with a bullet wound.
This suspect you are seeing is a result of effort of our operational men and our operatives that went out during the weekend, carried out discreet raid in some renowned criminal hideout, clubhouses, and the rest of them. Here we also have a group of kidnappers who are confirmed kidnappers from Gombe axis.
Our first big story this week is on Victoria Murray, who got missing on the 2nd of May. Well, the good news here is that she's been found. On arrival at the home of the Murrays, well-wishers were seen who came to rejoice with the family on the safe return of Victoria. Her mother, who is still in shock, said she would rather not talk about her daughter's disappearance, at least not yet. Her father said the family has been through hell and can't wish such on his worst enemy. Sharing the story to find Victoria, he revealed that after his post went viral on social media, he got a call from a particular number from Aja. He set out for the meeting with the police, but it turned out a wrong idea.
And when they saw the police, that particular trail went cold. Nobody wanted to cooperate anymore because they saw the police. They were like, oh, so you came here with the police. We're not going to give you any information. We don't want to work with the police. We don't want police involved in our business. If you want our help, leave the police out. Of course, I didn't want to leave the police out at first because I was apprehensive. But because I was desperate, I had to leave the police out.
After that, he took the risk of continuing to meet with the boys without involving the police, and it eventually paid off.
I went and engaged these people directly. They were the local people around the area, local boys around the area. And we started talking. They were not the ones holding my daughter directly, or so they said. But they said that because we're the local people, and they knew their environment very well, and they knew their area very well, the Ado Road, Badore area of Ajah, and that they would help me to comb the area. And that if indeed that girl was the one that this fellow said he saw, that they would fish her out. So they started their search. And I was waiting and I was getting quite, impatient. So I made posters of my daughter. And with her mom, we went to that particular street, Ado Road in Ajah. And we're distributing posters house by house, shop by shop, talking to people directly and begging them, if you see this person, please let us know. Because that was the last place she was seen, according to this report from this gentleman. And so we left that, and then nothing happened. And then last night, around 10 p.m., 11, I got a call from these same people I'd been dealing with in Ajah. And they said, come and pick up your daughter. I was like, really? I couldn't believe it. So I wanted to go alone, but her mom said, no, you cannot go without me. So we went out that late with her mom, drove out to Ajah. And there they were, waiting by a filling station with my daughter. What happened? Then they told us the story of how they found her in this particular apartment, not used apartment, at the edge of the settlement, very close to the edge of the swamp. So that was where she was kept. In this room, bare room like that, nothing, no furniture of any kind in the room. Swampy, mildew, wet. She kept something like a stone, which was the driest thing she sat on there. So that was where my daughter was kept for these past few weeks, 2 weeks actually. They found her there, because I think someone said they saw her there, and they went and laid siege around the area. And when they saw her, they just went in and swooped in and brought her out. We eventually went to the place with them, because her stuff, she didn't have her stuff, and we needed to go get her stuff, her books, her school bag that she had with her when she left for school was still in the place. Went back there, thankfully the people that were keeping her weren't there. So we fetched the bag and left the place quickly last night and got back home. Talking to her, she told me a lot of things. I have no way of telling whether they are factual or not, but this is what my daughter said to me. On her way to school, she shared the bus with a gentleman who complimented her looks and told her that he could help her launch a career in modeling, that they could help her to go to Europe if she could come with him. He would help set her up. And she followed him. That's the most disappointing part, that she didn't come back to check with her parents. This job opportunity she was getting, she didn't come to check with her parents. She just went with them, like she was looking for that opportunity, and she just followed them. So she followed them, and at some point she couldn't do anything other than what they were telling her to do. So she was just basically susceptible to their own instructions and commands.
He thanked Nigerians for their support on social media after he made the post on his missing daughter with a piece of advice for parents and guardians.
I would say that me personally, starting now, I'm going to be so deep in my children's business. I am not going to take anything for granted. I'm going to become a monitoring spirit in their lives. I will watch every little thing they do, every little move they make, especially their lives on social media. Even when you think they're not doing it, even when you think they're not talking to people, they probably are talking to someone. I mean, the school has a policy of not allowing them to engage with the rest of the world through social media because they are minors, technically speaking. But she's in the bus with people who are not, do you understand? So you've shielded them from contact with these people through social media, but this contact is here in the bus. So I would say that parents should pay closer attention to their children, especially those that are beginning to mature. I tell my children all the time, don't speak to strangers. But somehow maybe Victoria felt she was mature enough to speak to strangers and to handle a conversation on her own. Clearly she's not able to do that. And that's why she didn't come back successful. So I would say that we talk more to our parents, we talk more to our children, be closer to your children, listen more to them. A lot of the time as parents, we like to instruct children. We like to tell them what we want them to know, and we hardly have time to listen to them. I would like to listen to my children a lot more. I'd like to be closer to them. I'd like to engage with them more often. I don't want to be just this guy who comes and goes. I want to be in their lives. And I would say that in this age of pervasive communication opportunities, we should even be more interested because we don't know what they get up to. There's a phenomenon they call catfishing online, where people create false profiles and make themselves to be who they really aren't, just so they can lure people and do all kinds of things to them. We are lucky this time. We don't know if we'll be as lucky next time. So I cannot take chances. I'm going to be more deeply involved in my children's affairs, and I appeal to all other parents. Please, we've had too many instances of children disappearing in Nigeria these days. We have too many instances of people going away without any trace. We have too many instances of young people with potential disappearing like that. We cannot allow that to continue. Of course, we understand that there are challenges our security apparatus, our security system in this country, but we have to start to secure our children from home. From home.
Victoria, we were told, needed some time to come to terms with what she's been through.
We got her back. She looks okay physically. She looks unkempt, a bit emaciated. But she looks distant, she looks dazed and a bit withdrawn. So ever since she came back to the house, she's been holed up in her room, hugging a pillow and crying.
On our interview segment, we had a chat with a data protection advocate on the rising scourge of internet fraud in the country. Welcome to this segment, our interview segment. Today we'll be talking cyber crime, but our guest on this edition is Tokunbo Smith, a data protection advocate. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
I'll start. There's been an increase in cyber crime in Nigeria. Now, what do you think is responsible for this?
Well, there are a lot of things that are responsible for cybercrime in Nigeria. And I will start from homes. Lack of parental care is #1 factor. When you don't train your child, somebody outside will train that child for you. Secondly, the negative role model in Nigeria. We have leaders with negative role models. And Nigeria is built on money rules. As long as we believe that once you have the money, there's nothing you cannot do, then there is a big problem. Unemployment, especially for the youth, because most people who are into cybercrime, they are in the ages of 18 to 30. And unfortunately, there's no statistics whereby you know exactly the number of students that comes out from university, even not only university, even secondary schools. Do you have the number of students, the kind of jobs you can give for secondary school? Because when you talk about cybercrime, 13-year-old boy can do cybercrime. All he needs is to know how to use internet. And startup capital for committing crimes doing cybercrime is so low. You don't need any startup capital. All you need is your skill. And you can always acquire this skill from cyber cafe. With 100 naira, you can go to any cyber cafe and learn and keep on learning the skills. So this startup capital is so low. Not only that, you also see that the environment is such an environment that they recognize people who are fraudulent. And when you see a young man trying to succeed in life, and you can see his mates, his colleagues, doing nothing because they share, that is, they communicate with one another. And when they communicate, there are a lot of things they discuss. And in the process, you can see your friend who is stealing, who is doing cybercrime, and is making money. One day you will be tempted to do it.
So you actually mean that our value system has a problem?
Our value system is bad.
Okay.
And until we have a good value system, which is a very big thing for us to do now, mostly value systems are supposed to be from homes. Unfortunately, again, the faith-based organization, when I say faith-based organization, I'm talking about this Christianity and the Islam, where you can, and other religions, because we have other religions, they are all faith-based. Those are the areas where we could have changed our value system. Unfortunately, even when we go to this faith-based organization, the value system now is nothing to write home about. So where do we go? Where do the young ones go? And they want to live as well. They want to have their own life. Because unfortunately, again, you keep on circulating positions among the old ones. What is a man of 83, 84 doing in government service as a minister? These are things the youth will look at and say, so at the end of the day, even by the time he is leaving, he's putting his own children. So they now say, what can we do than to go onto all these cybercrime to get money, and when they have the money, they feel they can now be in a position they want to be. So for us, we are really in a situation that I don't know what we can do about it. I discuss a lot with all these youths, and when I listen to them, when I hear them, I feel so sorry for this country. You call them leaders of tomorrow, but you are not giving them the opportunity to become leaders of tomorrow. The only way you can give them opportunities to become leaders of tomorrow is to make sure that they are very skilled in their own choosing field. Policy is very important. You see, the way we make policies in this country is so bad. Because you hate somebody, or because you want to benefit from somebody or from a business, you just create a policy that is not good for the nation. And that policy will affect so many people, including the youth. So you are destroying the youth directly and indirectly. And in the process of destroying the youth, they want to have their own way. So that makes some of these youth to go into cybercrime. When you talk about cybercrime, there are a lot of cyber things they do. Cybercrime, what you people know is Yahoo, 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 Yahoo.
I was going to ask you different types.
We have the commonest one, the business email scam, whereby you sit down in Nigeria and behave as if you have a big company or a finance house, and you start sending mails to people overseas that they can come and get loan, or they can come and get some goods from you, and that you will send the goods and you will not send any goods. By the time they send those money, you will not send any goods. You also have personal email, whereby you originate an email and send it to people to just collect information, sensitive information. When I say sensitive information, I'm talking about username, your password, your BVN, your national identity card, national identity number, and so on. And once you get such information, you can use it to your own advantage. And also, apart from all those emails, you can also do what we call romance scam.
Yeah, identity theft and the rest.
Yes, identity theft. So when you do romance scam, that is between a man and a woman mostly, whereby you allow a woman to get your trust and get some information from her. In the process, after collecting those information, you now use those information against that lady as well. And these are people who are either mostly widows or people who are lonely, but they are very, very rich. So they empathize or sympathize with them in order to get those information. And apart from from romance, you will also have whereby you hack information. When you hack information, those information will reveal some identity to you. And because you get those identity, you can use it to do a lot of cybercrime.
How do you protect yourself against hackers?
When you open mails on the internet, you are not expecting attachment from somebody. And you see an attachment, you open an attachment. It might be a virus. It might be an attachment that wants to steal your personal information. So you don't just open attachment. When you see unnecessary information coming into your inbox, it means something is wrong. And how do you even know when your email has been compromised? Number one, you may find it difficult to open your email box. Your password may have been changed. Two, you start having more emails in your box. Three, your IP address can be changed. And four, you discover that advertisement, a lot of advertising goods come in, which you have not solicited for. Those are things that will let you know. I have experienced email attack before. Immediately I noticed it, I changed my password. And I circulated to most people that my email has been compromised. So I changed my password, I changed my username.
Thank you so much for joining us. But before we leave, we'd like to say this. Under the Cybercrime Act of 2015, a hacker, if found guilty, can pay as much as 10 million, 5 years imprisonment, or even death penalty. Crime Watch continues. Our second big story explores the aggressive counter-kidnapping operations by the police in the northern part of the country.
This is Katari village along Kaduna-Abuja Expressway, venue of one of the biggest harvests of those suspected to be criminals in recent time. Weeks of sleepless nights have finally paid off for the police. According to them, the unrelenting and aggressive counter-kidnapping strategies of the police in the fight against kidnapping and other heinous crimes in the country is responsible for this biggest harvest of criminal elements. The Force Public Relations Officer says the operation was by a joint team of police operatives attached to Operation Puff Adder, North Central Sector.
The Operation Puff Adder was conceived as a very strong anti-kidnapping, anti-robbery, and anti-banditry operation. It was fundamentally designed to actually detect, isolate, and decimate all the criminal gangs that have been giving Nigerians sleepless nights on these roads. Not only that, a few days ago, the IG, in addition, also rolled out a new counter-kidnapping strategy. And what you are seeing today is a culmination of all the hard work by police operatives, particularly from the Special Tactical Squad, the IGP Response Unit, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of Kaduna State Command, backed up by the operatives of the Force Intelligence Unit, the Technical Intelligence Unit based at the Force Headquarters Abuja, as well as operatives from the tactical squads of the Police Mobile Force, the Special Protection Units, the Counter-Terrorism Units, and the Special Forces.
According to him, the 93 suspects were picked up from different parts of the north central, northwestern, and northeastern parts of the country. Also recovered from the suspects are one rocket launcher, 35 AK-47 rifles, 10 locally made AK-47 rifles, 500 live ammunition, 8 locally made revolver pistols, 10 pairs of military camouflage uniform, 2 operational vehicles, amongst other incriminating items.
What you have here is actually a functional rocket launcher. As rusty as it looks, it is effective, it is in perfect condition. It is rusty because at the end of every operation, the criminals take it back to their armory and bury it right under the ground, under the earth. And that explains why it is rusty. But this rustiness has nothing to do with its lethality and its effectiveness. But this gives you an idea of the kind of people that we're dealing with. But the fact that we would continue to mop up these arms is an indication that they are the end of the reign of terror, not just on Kaduna-Abuja Expressway, but across the entire length and breadth of Nigeria is here.
He said further investigation is ongoing with the aim of tracking, uncovering, and disrupting the sources of arms supply to the criminal groups, as well as identifying their collaborators and bringing all involved in these heinous crimes to justice.
And before we go, these are some security tips for you. That's all we can take on today's edition. Keep a date with us, same station, same time next week. Till then, keep your comments coming to crimewatch@tvcnews.tv. I'm Ivy Kano. Do have a crime-free week.